Hi everyone, it's me. So today I'm going to be going over a chess game that I just played a few minutes ago, and I'm going to be talking about the mistakes that I had made and stuff like that. So yeah, my username on chess.com is insane2007 if you want to, friend me or whatever. But yeah, you probably know that I only have 5 minutes to record this, so let's get right into it. So the first move I made was d4, and I was playing white. Now over here, I was setting up to capture this pawn on c7. There's this thing that's called I think it's the anti-fried liver defense or something, where they moved that pawn there, but they didn't. But they were still prepared, and this is actually a thing I've never saw this before. I thought it was pretty cool. So they checked me. I blocked it with that pawn, and then they moved there so that if I took that pawn, then they could take it with their bishop. And of course, I had my bishop to take it, but then they had their queen, and they would be ahead in material. So I castled, kind of stalling a little bit. They did the same. I brought my rook over. Now, this is where I think I made my first big mistake. I went here. I should have probably went here, because then they would take it, and then I would take it with my knight probably. But yeah. And then they took it, and I took it. Then they took that knight. Then I did that. So their knight was forking my bishop and queen. I saved my queen. So over here, what I did is, if you see this, I have my rook over here, this pawn, and their queen. So this pawn over here is actually pinned to their queen, and if they move that pawn out of this file, like by taking this pawn, for example, then I could take their queen. So that is why I did that. So I set that up, but it didn't happen right away. They did that. Now this next thing, you might be wondering why I did that, because they can just take it with a pawn. But then, when I took that, then it's attacking both of these rooks right here. So they'll move one, but then I get the other. So now this is where that happened. They took that pawn that I had set up, and then I took their queen. Then they did that, and I took that. Now this, I think this was my first, not my first, one of my really bad moves. I shouldn't have done that. And I took that. And then they went here. That's forking my queen and my rook. So, saved my queen. Now I didn't do anything, because then they could take if I took the knight, they could take it. Then I'm pretty sure they would be ahead. So, that's why I didn't do anything about that. So I was trying to get them in a position where I would be attacking both of them. And they did that. I should have just took their rook, but for some reason I didn't. Then I took that. And that is where they resigned. You can probably see I would have done that and took that or whatever. But yeah, I don't really have enough time. So yeah, I won this game. I hope you enjoyed this video.